So this is what's going to happen today. After this introduction, I'll pass it over to Neha, who's going to talk about what is cybersecurity, for those who are not familiar. Why do you need cybersecurity, and how do you practice cybersecurity with Kahoot, a quiz game at the end, so that's where you have a chance to win some cool prizes from Garfield, and after that we have a Q&A session. So yeah, just to kick start this session, probably go to the next slide. Yeah, I'll introduce ISC squared. So this is you were asking about what ISC squared is all about, Judy, earlier.
Yeah.
The full name is really quite long, so that's why we did the acronym. So it actually stands for International Information System Security Certification Consortium. Yeah, so we're the world's leading cybersecurity and IT security professional organization. ISC Squared Global is the one that gives out the cybersecurity certifications. As you can see, these are the different cybersecurity domains. And what's happening is we have all these different topics for everyone who wants to learn more about cybersecurity. And as a professional, we maintain our certification by learning more about cybersecurity, conducting events, and for also conducting these volunteer or cybersecurity awareness programs for the benefit of the community. And then we can go to the next slide. Yeah, so of course, let me introduce our speaker for the day. Neha has been awarded so many cybersecurity awards, especially for women. And then she's also certified in CISSP, CCSP, and PMP. These are all IT and cybersecurity certifications. She's also our Director for Communications in the ISC Squared Singapore chapter. Now, before we start, probably I'd like to ask everyone also to give us some information or give us some intro on what is your most favorite app that you use, and how many hours in a day do you use them? So feel free to enter it into the chat room. And this is to give us an idea of what to focus on and what you normally use. So enter into the chat room 2 things: your most favorite app that you use, whether it's a mobile app or a desktop, and you can put it in the number of hours you use in the day. Go ahead. I'll give you around a minute to do that. Please enter it into the chat room. It can be WhatsApp, it can be Netflix, up to you. Oh, YouTube. Thank you very much for sharing, YK. It can be for your kids, or you can also take a poll from the parent side and the teacher side. Is it only YouTube? TikTok, yes.
Oh.
That's good. Roblox. Oh, okay. I haven't used that myself, but I heard it's very, very popular. Yeah. Instagram. Okay, that's good. 2 to 3 hours a day. Wow. Hopefully they spend as much time on their homeworks. YouTube and gaming. So gaming, I know there are a lot of games. Maybe you can put in your favorite games too. What are your favorite games? Okay, I think that's about it. I don't see anyone else typing. Yeah, maybe you can add in later on as we go along. Oh yeah, Roblox is one of the addictive ones, so I don't want to start that. But for those who play games, yeah, I know the feeling. So yeah, thank you very much for sharing. Please feel free to add in later on the chat box. I'll hand you over now to Neha, who will be sharing all the meaty stuff for our cybersecurity session today. Thank you very much. Oh, Call of Duty, yes.
Thank you so much, Paolo, and thank you, Judy, for this opportunity. Hello all and welcome. So thank you for the introduction, Paolo, and as highlighted, I'm working alongside as a cybersecurity program manager and have 15 years and more of work experience in IT industry and cybersecurity. Let's quickly start and hope we will make this presentation a very interesting and engaging session for you. So maybe one more question from my side. How many of you have heard of cybersecurity? And just think about what does cybersecurity, the term, mean to you personally? If anyone wants to, answer in the chat, that would also be good. Okay. Not many people, I guess, but I assume that some of you might have heard of cybersecurity in general. And
okay, Eric has heard of it. Yeah.
This is
Eric's
not
mom,
moving.
yeah.
Right. So let's quickly have a look at, the definition. And there are various definitions of cybersecurity across. While we also generally term it as cybersecurity, it is also known as information security, or electronic information security, or, the practice of defending computers, servers, mobile devices, all the electronic systems that we use, like, iPads and so on. And the networks across the organizations, which are like huge organizations that have offices all across the globe, and they are connected via networks. So for example, while I work in an organization, I can chat in the company network. I can connect to a server that is, or an application that is hosted in Europe, or, someone who's sitting in the US. And we are, as of now, I think all of us are pretty global, and we access information from across the globe. We know the news, what is happening in other parts of the country, and we are always online most of the times, right? And so what happens to the data? The data is the new currency these days. Earlier we used to hear of all these bank robberies where people used to actually physically walk in with guns and, rob the banks. But how many instances of those have we heard in the recent past? I guess might be a very, very few number. But what do we hear mostly is that the hackers, the so-called hackers are those people who rob information or data online. And from that, why do they do that? They basically make money out of it, or they ask ransomware in demand of, releasing back your information back to you. And so these all attacks are basically malicious in nature, because they might have an intent. They might be intended either to steal your data, to just data in the terms of, they might steal your credit card account number, or account number, or your personal details, and that they can use for malicious purposes, right? So protecting all of the information which is basically stored onto the servers or databases, or traveling via networks, all of the defending of all these information and infrastructure assets is what we term as information or cybersecurity. So here we have an example. This is so basically this is like the person is saying that this is so easy. I plug in a portable device and it automatically installs something without me downloading anything. So basically this means that someone is something is just getting installed on your computer, and you are happy about it, thinking I don't really have to do much and things are happening on their own. But then, do you really know what is getting installed and why is it getting installed? That's what the second image says, that I think that device contains a malicious software which got executed by the auto run feature. So what happens here is that whenever we will see across in the next few slides that how these attackers actually gain access to your data. How do they really get success in their endeavors, right? And why these installed softwares are really, really harmful to your, if they get onto your system, as we term them as virus or malware, or, malicious software. Malware is basically malicious software. And then what happens next? That software does something into your computer, and that might lead to the third image that is shown here, whereas now your computer is not doing anything. So it is either logged. So whatever data you have had in your computer is suddenly all gone, or it is logged, and then these hackers will message you or mail you asking for, you know, a ransom or a amount of money that you must pay them in order to get your information back. So to protect our systems and to prevent all of this to happening, we have to be vigilant. We have to be aware of what we are sharing, what we are doing, and the entire practice of securing our own data as well as the data of our companies, networks, everything lies under cybersecurity. So I hope this gave you a slight brief insight. Now let us compare. How do you, compare it with securing your home, and how does it actually, map? So this is a house. Now let's assume there is a locker, a physical locker inside the house where there are valuables stored inside. So if there is a house where they store valuables, usually they will lock their doors, right? They would have alarms. They might have alarms if it is a store which has like valuables like gold and diamond. So they would put extra walls, extra fences, security guards, doors, CCTV cameras. They would put alarms. So why would they do all of this? Just to protect whatever is stored inside the locker or inside the store or inside even a house or home. So now let us compare. What do fences, doors, locks, and keys do or map into cybersecurity context? So when you use a strong, secure password, when you use passphrase instead of a very small password which can be easily guessed by people, that is where you are actually putting in the first layer of defense, which is the door. You have to have a door in the house so that, without entering your password, someone cannot enter your Facebook account or your email account, So that is the first layer. Now, what is the purpose of alarms and the guard dogs? So we basically, these are actually some prevention measures. So if you put an alarm when someone is trying to enter or open your door, suddenly the alarm rings. This is done by, for example, the antivirus software. So if you must have an antivirus software on your computer or your phone, because as soon as you it will view that, okay, there is some malicious website, it will prompt you, no, do not open, or think before you open this or click this link or get ahead with this website. So antivirus, anti-malware, anti-ransomware, these are the solutions you must have in place. Then there is a gate. So that means, for example, you have Wi-Fi in your house, yeah, right? So you should protect it via some password as well, so that your someone who's crossing by your door who can still get the access or the network to Wi-Fi cannot enter into your Wi-Fi network, right? They should they need a password and they don't know that. So you should always have a password, and that should not be a default password 123, because that is something that people would try to guess, the first thing. So don't use default passwords. Whenever you buy a Wi-Fi device or you buy a Alexa or whatever IoT device, try to change your default password as soon as you get it, right? Then you have all these mailboxes where phishing emails, we will see more about what phishing email is. So you'll have to be aware of those. And similarly, I mean, all of these, basically, all of these, why do we buy insurance for a house or something? So that way you back up your data so that it is insured. Insured means that or you buy a cyber insurance for big companies. That is, cyber insurance is more, it makes more sense, but not for, individual users. But still, everything has a purpose. And why do we place multiple layers? And this is something that we term as defense in depth in cybersecurity industry. So why do we say defense in depth? Is because if a person actually, if there are, if he can bypass, for example, some of the systems, for example, he can disable the alarm. and then try to open the door. But if the door has a lock, he will still be deterred. And then even if he opens the door, there is a guard dog or a security guard, there is a third layer. So then that will prevent the person. Or, and then the CCTV cameras. So we put in multiple layers so that if one security control is broken, the next security control will be there standing to protect it, right? Okay, let's see what next. How do you actually, why do you need cybersecurity? Okay, let's watch a video here then, and see what Garfield has to tell us.
Hey, Garfield. Hey, Garfield!
What? Huh?
Hey, Garfield, guess what?
Huh?
I'm having pancakes for breakfast. Just in case you missed my status update on Catbook. I'm having pancakes with blueberry syrup. See?
You woke me up for that?
Oh, I forgot the milk. Gotta change my status in all my profiles. Hashtag got syrup. Sweet. And here's my report on giraffes, which I got an A+ on. Giraffes. Giraffes are not small. Giraffes are quite tall, with legs that are long and necks that are strong, and also quite long. Giraffes. Oh, yeah. Ooh, I gotta post that too.
Another post?
Can I help it if everyone wants to know what the world's cutest kitten is doing? That's why I'm on Catbook, FaceChat, Instablurb, and Chatter.
That's a lot of social media.
That's a lot of normal. Too much if you ask me.
Garfield, don't be jealous that I have oodles and oodles of online friends and you don't.
Who needs online friends? I'd rather have oodles and oodles of noodles.
I bet you'll want to come to my pizza party celebrating the A+ I got on my giraffe report.
Pizza? You said the magic word.
Status update. Can't wait for the big backyard pizza party this afternoon, celebrating my good grade. Woot!
Woot?
Oh yeah, cool.
Nirmal, what are you doing?
Check it out.
Pizza party here today. Pizza delivery guy, don't forget to ring doorbell and bring cheese bread. This is where the world's cutest kitten lives.
Isn't it awesome?
Garfield, maybe this isn't such a good idea. You should call Dr. Sabrina.
I'm on it. Dr. Sabrina, we need your help.
Hold on a second, Garfield. I'm just about to beat my high score. Did it! Woo! So, Garfield, what's up?
It's about online safety.
Perfect. As a CISSP certified information system security professional, I'm always on the job.
All right, so hope we, so what do you think about the video? Was there anything wrong in that?
Yeah, feel free to enter your comments about the video and the
Yeah,
chat.
you can unmute and speak as well, no worries.
Yeah. And by the way, Garfield is actually, as I said earlier, is like the mascot of ISC Squared. So he has been helping a lot of children and even parents all over the world on how to help keep the IT system safe and secure.
Right, thanks, Paolo. So let me quickly share if, okay, I think we get, yes, definitely. Address being shared, that is a mistake that that was made in the video. So here we saw basically, thanks Christina for sharing that. And here we saw basically that, you know, a lot of people share basically all the information that is happening in their day-to-day on Instagram, on Facebook, on other, you know, social media channels. But how to share, how to what extent the information to be shared and what is to be shared has to be really thought about first. You know, because when you're sharing, it's not just with your friends. Sometimes your friends, you know, the posts can be public, and sometimes those posts can be accessed even by the attackers, cyber attackers, so that you know, information that is shared, ensure that it is, you know, not anything personal, not things like address and things which might cause, issues in any form later. So we need to understand anything we share online will stay online forever. Maybe we forget about it, but someone finds about it maybe a year later, and then they might misuse the information that you had already shared, right? And things like address, your date of birth, these things do not change often, right? You can change the password of your phone or your app or your email, but your date of birth, if you keep telling on, to everyone and make it a password as well, that is a mistake, right? Because that will never, your date of birth is not going to change. If you're sharing your address online, that is not going to change very often, mostly. So here are some cybersecurity news. We basically have, if you just Google cybersecurity news, you will find ample amount of news every single day. There are number of hacks and data breaches that are happening in various parts of the world every single day and every single hour, right? So this basically has led to a lot of initiatives by Singapore government as well as the overall global industries who work towards cybersecurity, that even if it is for example, if it is a fake news, for instance, if it is if it is about personal data, if it is malicious web addresses, or any of the issues that are encountered that lead to data breaches, that basically is kind of really making its entry into news, and we are all working towards ensuring that we do not have more of these news, the scams, the fake news, and the breach to personal data. And not just this is leading to millions of dollars of losses all across the organizations and all across the world. So this is a serious topic. And as you can see on the picture on the left, Mr. Ishwaran, he's actively engaging with the industry and professionals to ensure that we take the right initiatives in the right directions to ensure that this there is an end to this, or there is at least a dip into this news rate that we are into cybersecurity. Now, this is just an example. More than 200 million Sing dollars were cheated in 10 scam types last year. Now, a lot of initiatives have been taken since a few years. Like if you log into your POSB account or DBS account, it will ask you, it will make you click on, okay a few times, like for parents, not, I think, of course, kids do not log in, but a lot of, we get a lot of brochures into our houses, and, Singapore Police Force, Singapore Cybersecurity of Agency, a lot of initiatives from IMDA, from various organizations are making entry to every household to make aware of people not to fall prey to these scams, right? So not just this, I mean, it's not just happening in Singapore, it's happening, as I mentioned, all across the world. Now, if I give you just one example, there was a cyber attack on the central bank in Bangladesh, and that was in 2016, and that led to once the attackers gained entry into the bank's network, by their internet network, is what I mean. They did not really walk in there. They were somewhere across some different countries, and they made 35 fraudulent transactions, out of which 5 went through, and the hackers could take away $100 million. So that is the way now they rob banks, basically. And for information, when we are actually living in a world which has so many emerging technologies, like we are hearing of Internet of Things, which means like all your devices which can work with internet, right? Like your Alexa and various connected drones and cloud computing. As we are talking of all of these terms, we have everything has an associated cyber risk. Now, whatever information is being gathered by these devices, because some of these devices also do have cameras, and there have been incidences where hackers logged into, or the recording devices or sound can travel across these devices when you are speaking, just having a normal conversation into your house. So what happened in the recent past also is that, some of these devices, when they were hacked, the owners do not even know about it. And they're talking, making really, general conversations around, sitting in their hall or the dining table, and the hackers are listening to these conversations. And if they are discussing information around their finances or whatever, all of this is getting transferred as well to the hackers. So you have to be extra vigilant when we are living in such an age of digital technologies, where we are surrounded by all these devices all around, right? So how do we practice cybersecurity? Now, getting to the point, we have to start training at a young age. We have to be aware of what we download, what is identity theft, what information we share, what are we connecting to, like in terms of what kind of information are we viewing or are we accessing, and what kind of cyberbullying is also very famous these days, because we have to practice cyber wellness. Means that we have to respect as we meet each other and greet each other respectfully face to face. Same ethics have to be followed when we are even conversing into an online world or a digital media world, where we are like we are conversing over Facebook, Instagram, or whatever social media channels. So a lot of these things should become a routine. It should, everyone should inculcate into their own personal attitude and perspective on how they approach day to day. So these things should not be reminded. These should become a part of your day-to-day life, basically, being aware of what is right and what is wrong. So how old you must be when you use these tools. So this is some of the social media tips you might all be aware of. And then there are, even for gaming, their entertainment software rating board has issued a lot of guidelines, and you can check all of those into these into these links that are mentioned, esrb.org. And these are some general cybersecurity tips for you that respect yourself online and offline. And if possible, deactivate your geotagging. You don't need to tell everyone out in the world that where you are, what you're doing, what you are, where you're heading to. And create strong passwords. I'll just play a quick video on that, and then use multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication is basically 2-layer of protection. One, even after entering your password, even if someone steals your password or gets to guess your password or know about it, you can still prevent them accessing your account or personal details by having a multi-factor authentication, which means that you have either you will enter your either you will get an SMS OTP on your phone, or you will have a fingerprint or some kind of different authentication, second level of authentication for entering the accounts. And this is especially very important in all banking and credit card accounts. And obviously, I think now we are living in an age that it's already activated at most of the places. But for your own personal devices as well, WhatsApp, Facebook, you have an option to basically switch on multi-factor authentication, and you should all do that. You should all have antivirus, anti-malware softwares, and we should back up our data regularly. Now, when a phone is lost, for example, why we are not really bothered about the cost of the phone as much as we are bothered about the number of contact details, the amount of data that is lost, and all of that. So similarly, even if you're working, or if you are, if you have important projects for your school that you have created, just take a backup. There is a lot of Google Drive space available, or there are a lot of other options, like you can have a personal hard drive to take a backup on, so that even if something happens to your computer or your phone, you still have the data, right? And of course, you have to really be careful about opening any email and not clicking on any links or on downloads that, or replying or chatting with people who you don't know about. That's pretty much it. Let's quickly watch some nice videos, and this one is on phishing. Phishing is basically when someone sends you an email, and that someone is someone you do not know, and someone is basically sending you to make you click on some link so that they can gain access to your computer or your device, and then they can do whatever they want on your phone. They can even read what you're typing, or there are softwares that can be installed which run in the background. We are not even aware of them. So this can lead to really great consequence. The consequences might be really bad. So we need to be really careful while and even on the websites. For example, now they have created fake websites like DBS website. You have to be very careful of the URL. Everything has to be HTTPS, and that means HTTP secure. And then definitely you have to see if they have replaced any of the letters in the website address, like L is replaced by 1, for instance. So that is not the same website anymore. It is a different website that can be a hacker oriented website, right? Let's watch this video, and that's on phishing.
Alamak, that was a phishing email, dangerous.
How can phishing be dangerous? I just got a big snapper yesterday.
Not that kind of phishing, lah. I meant phishing with a PH. These phishing emails from scammers are out to get your confidential information like passwords and usernames so they can get into your accounts and possibly steal your money and more.
Really?
Trust me, lah. Anyway, to spot these phishing emails, check for mismatch information, such as URLs that have misleading domain names. Also, look out for emails that ask you for confidential information or dodgy emails you aren't expecting. If you see an email like that again, delete it. Hey, that wasn't a phishing email. Remember to spot the signs of phishing. To get more cyber tips, visit the GoSafe Online website.
Great. So hope you all got some insights into what really goes behind this the kind of emails that are sent to you randomly by and these people who are targeting. They sometimes even send targeted emails, which means that they collect information about you from your social media. They know what you like, and then they actually target you accordingly. If they know you like traveling, they'll just, as we saw, they can just mention, oh, we sponsor you, you participated in some of these quizzes, and we are sponsoring your trips to Europe. Let's share your account details. So never do that, right? Let's quickly also watch a video that guides us on how to create strong passwords and enable two-factor authentication.
Or 8 January 1982.
Hello, Auntie. What are you mumbling about?
It's my password, lah. I can't remember if I used my birth date or my son's birth date. Now cannot log in.
Alamak, Auntie. You are not supposed to use personal information. Hackers can easily guess your password and steal your money.
My birthday not strong, meh?
Not strong at all. A strong password has to be long and random. I'll tell you one way to create a strong and memorable password. Ready? Think of a memory that only you know. Make it harder for hackers to guess by using uppercases or numbers. Auntie? Auntie? Still remember your password?
I had kaya toast at 8 a.m.
You're not supposed to tell me that. Most importantly, remember to activate two-factor authentication or 2FA. This adds another layer of verification, which makes it harder for anyone to access your accounts. That's it. You're done.
Wow, I better go tell my husband.
Remember to use strong passwords and enable 2FA. To get more cyber tips, visit the GoSafe Online website.
Okay, hope we all have a better clarity. These are the kind of CSA links. Cybersecurity of Agency, as you saw, has GoSafe Online awareness campaign. So you can just go to this website, csa.gov.sg, GoSafe Online, and get all the information there as well. So this is just, the QR codes that that will direct you to information on how you can set up your two-factor authentication on various apps and on your devices. And let's go now. We are quite running out of time on Q&A. If any